It's time to finally fix one of our most problematic, terrible codes that we had previously because of lack of knowledge. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. If you recall, this command class has caused lots of drama. The reason was that we were calling commands inside another command. Well, at the time we didn't know anything about block states, so we were face to face with a problem that we couldn't solve with proper knowledge. However, now we know things about block state, and it's time to finally come back and really get rid of this mumbo jumbo junkiness. One of the things that I want to fix is that everything is sitting under the mod command class, and it is not the way I like to organize things. So I will handle things a little bit differently. Under commands, I will create a Java class and call it DCLR command. And DCLR command should be just a normal class. However, now I can just get rid of this, move it on here, put it there. Basically, we are going to do few copy pastes here and there, and then we will start cleaning stuff. So that's that, moving it here, close it. And finally, we add our constructor that throws new assertion error. And finally, public static void register. And we call this register from here instead of this method call. So we say DCLR command.register. And the rest should migrate from here to this DCLR. And I will cut this, remove this whole method, come back into DCLR and paste it here. Okay, that's the first thing, okay? And now we have tons of unwanted, unused comments. Just clean the imports. Now the mod commands is consistent with other registry things that just has its own register calls, and that's it. Also, under commands, I will create a folder called suggestion and move this suggestion there, because if you may notice, my list is not updated. Time to fix this terrible code. Let's see what we are doing. Well, we are registering a command. That's okay. Then we are looking through suggestions. That's okay. We are assigning proper blocks from the list. That's okay. Then we are starting doing terrible things. Up until here, we are okay. We are just using our position to define X and Z for minimum and maximum. However, command managers, we are not going to run any commands, so let's get rid of them, and this will cause tons of errors. So we are sending a cleaning start command. That's okay. Then we are creating a command, and things are even worse. Let me just move these things back so that we don't jump back and forth a lot. Okay, the very first thing, we are capturing a game rule because I was making sure that I'm sending a game rule for turning off the feedback. We don't need that. And here's the whole thing. Let's go down because I have another game rule here and I can get rid of that right now. Okay, every time you see a try catch and command manager.execute prefix, you can remove that section. However, I will keep the command as a guideline so that I know where should I loop through. Okay, we were looping 4 times actually between min x and min x, but here is min z and max z. So this is a loop. Basically, we want a for loop, and we call it int z equals to min z, comma, z smaller or equal than max z, that's that. And then instead of fill, we will do things a little bit differently. First of all, we want a block state. We call it state equals to. Now, do I have the word? I should have the word. If I don't have, I can get it from player. Context may have it. Let's see. Context dot get word. It doesn't have. How about word? It doesn't have. Okay. We have player dot get word and dot get block state. Now notice that it needs a block post. Okay. We go with min x. However, now we know that we were on minus 64 as y, and then, okay, we need another loop here. For int y equals to, yeah, that's it, basically, that's 128, okay. And now I can get rid of, actually, let's keep them there. We clean the curly braces later. Okay, so here is y and z. The min x is the same. So because we are going from min x to min x, we keep it there, but we are going from minus 64 to 128 and from min z to max z. So we are looping there. Each time we are getting a block state. However, to make things more optimized, I will take out the block state out of the loops and just replace it with the value because I don't want to instantiate a new block state each iteration of the loops. Now we say if the state that we got, if the block copy that we got, dot get block. This is the block. On top, we have bunch of arrays in here. I hope we converted them to list. No, array utils. Okay, here we go. Array utils that contains that accepts a object array. This can be double, short, float, long, char, integer, short, float, long. I don't see string, but we will give it a try. If the blocks, comma, get block. Now, get block returns a block, and here we are just using this. Now toString, what we'll return by toString? It's block, ouch. Registries that block got entry for this. Let's keep that. Instead of this, we go with that. And this should return Minecraft colon because get registry returns a registry entry. That's good. Dot, this is the key. This is the value is the block. Okay, toString, let's do this. By the way, this is an interesting thing that you can do. If you are not sure what you're doing, we can just say log this, close it, and now we have the state to find. And the state, okay, let's do it here, in here. And I will comment this section and anything below this other than the for loop. So I will comment this whole section, and of course I will comment this whole section. If you'll watch the debug video, this is one way to debug things. Get rid of this. Basically, I want to see if the name of the current block exists in the list of the blocks that I have, okay? Fluid block list. So instead of handling it another way, I want to see what is the returning value of this. Registries block, get entry, state, get block, dot toString. So I will just simply run the game. So I could keep this process out of the documentation and recording of the video. However, I'm trying to show you the real challenge that a mod developer can face when he is doing something and how to solve it at the same time. That is why I didn't cut it out from the videos and let you see this whole thing. Okay, I need the log because it will be filled with tons of things. Okay, so remember, if I run DCLR right now with any suggestions, it shouldn't actually remove anything, but at the same time, it should log tons of things for me. So DCLR all, starting to clean. Let's see. Oh, hell. That's even worse than what I thought. Resource key, Minecraft, blog, blog, blog. I want this section, Minecraft.a. Okay, that is even worse. Let's see. Here's that get name, I think, toString. Okay, I will run it in debug mode now because basically I should be able to run it in debug mode from now on. Okay, let's see if I put a break here to break out of the loop after the very first message, it should reduce the amount of messages that I will get because honestly, I just want one single message from this log to see what we are dealing with. So DCLR all. And there we go. Take a look. We got bedrock, bedrock, bedrock coming up. Okay, it's all bedrock. It shouldn't. Okay, get rid of this. Use hot swap. It moved like it was on a flat surface. However, it shouldn't because Y is going upward. Okay, let's see. And move up and move somewhere else and use it. DCLR all. Starting to clean bedrock and there we go. Deep slate, tough, deep slate, granite, stone, dirt, stone, diorite, dirt, grass, block, air, bedrock, deep slate. Okay, you know what it's returning? It's not returning these values. For example, grass block, if I find it, you see that it's making G uppercase, B uppercase, and then converting the underline to space. And deep slate, for example, is starting with capital D. Okay, I can tweak this value because this is string, okay? And here we are having string. So to lowercase, that should work. Dot, do we have replace? Yes, we have. The space with the underline. Let's repeat, replace. Okay, and hot swap. Okay, running the command again, and we should see different result. This was the old one. Here is the new one. Okay, so as you see, air, deep slate, deep, sapphire, ore. We don't care about that. Diorite, air, deep slate, gold, ore. However, now we have a problem. Do we have this inside items? And it says register blocks deep slate gold ore, deep slate underline gold underline ore. It's okay. However, what I'm doing can be dangerous because there is a chance that the translation is not what we have for the block name. So I will keep it, but I will see if we can find anything else. So state dot, well, let's see the toString itself. Why not? And hot swap. Okay, run what command one more time. Okay, block. This section is not what we want. This section is what we want. Dot. This gets properties, appearance, get the block itself, block entity ticker, class is not what we want, collision, calling phase, entries, these are irrelevant, these are events. Nope. Okay, get block dot get translation key. That's not what we want. We don't have anything else. That's a little bit sad. However, let's see. This can be the ID itself. If that is the case, I would be really happy. Okay, here we go. It's block dot Minecraft dot the name. And now we know that we are face to face with proper things. So if we split it on dot and we get the index of 0, 1, 2, because 0 will be block, 1 will be Minecraft, and 2 will be air, and it's a regex. God, run the command again. What the hell? Well, that's exactly what I want. So why are you not happy with the hot swap? An unexpected error. Okay. Yeah, that's maybe. Yeah, I think I had to escape because it's regex. Okay. No, it can't run it. Okay, the index 0 is working and it's block. The index 1, Minecraft. Then why can't you return the index 2? So index 2, hot swap. I'm not sure what was the problem there, but whatever. We got to the point that we get the names, so a bedrock or anything else. I'm sure there should be easier way of getting the proper name. However, that's what it's working right now, and I'm happy with it. Okay, I stopped the game, and as you see, now we have grass underline block, short underline grass, and stuff like that. At least now I'm sure that I'm working with the proper naming, so string name. And here now we say that instead of logging it, we say name equals to this, and I can get rid of that. Finally, we say if array utils contains the fluid block, and instead of all this mumbo jumbo, we say name. So if the name is inside the fluid list, this is where we want to do the replacement. And remember, we were replacing the fluid itself with Obsidian or anything else. Thankfully, now we have the position. So we say word. Actually, I will take it out of here because we will use it. So I will say word equals to player.getWord. And here we say word.below. And finally, here we say word.set block state. Now we want a block pose, and we are using this block pose. So I will take it out and we call it pause equals to that. And here we assign a block pause. So state equals to the pause. Okay. And here we say that set block state on the position with a new block state. The block state that we want is the obsidian. And we say blocks.obsidian.get default state, comma, block.notify all. This, in theory, should put a column of obsidian inside water in one direction around the player when we are facing with blocks. Let's give it a try, because if this works, the rest is simply copy pasting and tweaking the numbers here and there. Okay, I teleported myself into an ocean and I will call DCLR all here. And as you saw, immediately we see a column of obsidian running around in one direction. Now, if we work smartly, we should be able to use as few loops as possible to handle everything. To do that, we should understand what we are doing. Right now, we are basically doing repetitive stuff in 4 different directions. One is on min x, one is on max x, and both of these go from min z to max z. So if I just copy this whole thing and paste it again, and instead of min x, I use max x, basically I'm looping through minimum z to maximum z, and I'm handling 2 sides at the same time. Also, if I take the while loop up and the z loop inside, now I should be able to do things more smartly, because now I will copy this whole thing and paste it one more time. And this time I will loop through x directions from minimum x to maximum x. And here I will use min z for the z and maximum z. And basically I loop through x. So What I did is in a single while loop, I do 2 loops and handle 4 directions, and this should put the 4 walls for me around the player inside water. Let's hot swap it and see the result. Okay, if I run the command one more time, as you see, I got all 4 walls around myself in one go. Now, the only remaining section is this one. Here, I'm going from 144 to 8, and then I'm going from min and max. Oh, this is crazy. So I'm looping in the y direction with the steps of 8, and then just empty the internals. However, this is not a good solution. First of all, 144, 128. Now I'm looping through the whole section in y, and basically I'm looping through minimum z to maximum z once, but I'm dedicatedly working on min x and doing the whole thing again on maximum and minimum x with on one axis of x and z. Now, if I want to play it smart, maybe I want to make 3 loops one inside another. For example, I can say for int x from min x to max x, that's it, and close it here, and I will not get this section. So in this one logic, I have to handle both cases, the edge and not the edge. However, the reason I had separated the edge was that I was making a perimeter and then cleaning the internals so that the world wouldn't have a chance to somehow play tricks with water. Let's see if I can handle things here. So at this case, we know that either x should be equal to min x or x should be equal to max x. That's one of the cases. And I will put an and here. I will close this and this. So basically, I have 4 different combos, isn't it? Either x is min or z is min. And any one of these cases, I will remove this section and I will use and. We check if the array for the fluid contains the name of the block, because we are replacing the fluids around ourselves. This should handle on all the edges. Otherwise, else, if x min x greater than x smaller than max x and min z smaller than z smaller than max z, basically that's 2 logic there that will not work right now. You will see why, because we are not making things meaningful. Anyway, and now array utils, this time we don't want to work with the fluids, but we are basically looping through blocks. Okay, so we want to replace any block inside the block list. Okay, if that's the case, now we copy this one, we paste it there, but instead of obsidian, we go with air. Now, what is wrong with this section? This is 2 logic. We should say and x. Okay, so we should check that we are greater than minimum and less than maximum on all directions, because that is when we are inside the perimeter of obsidian and we just replace proper blocks with air. Hopefully that will work. And if that works, means that in one big giant loop, we cleared everything. Well, not one giant loop, 3 giant loops, but in one step. That's what I mean. Okay, let's remove that and let's take a look at this thing again. The reason I did separate these on top is that we are looping 3 times inside each other. And if I was going to instantiate these over and over and over, I was making lots of garbage that needed to be collected by garbage collector. And honestly, it's just one variable being written over and over. So it's a good habit of keeping them out there. And one more thing, if you want to donate anything for me, there is a link in the description that helps you donate any amount of cryptocurrency if you like to. Unfortunately, cryptocurrency is the only way that I can accept donations right now. And now let's run the command again. So dclr/all. And ouch, it didn't work at all this time. Oh, you know what did happen? This did happen. I shouldn't restrict myself on min x anymore. Let's do the hot swap. Okay, and run the command again, and there we go. Now, as you see, the problem is that I'm not getting the obsidian. I should work on that one and see what is the problem there. However, I'm removing everything other than my ore, and things are clean. Let's find what is the problem with that obsidian column. Before putting a breakpoint, let's take a look at the logic. We are checking if the x is the min x or it's the max x, and if the z equals min z or it's max z, and if it is contained in the fluid block list, then it should be replaced with obsidian. Else, if x is greater than min x and smaller than max x, so it shouldn't touch the min and max on x and z, then replace it with air. This makes sense. This is correct. Let me do this. Let me comment this section out, do a hot swap, and run the command once more. And of course, it won't work here. So let's run the command once more. Okay, that's one corner, second corner. Oh, we are just putting obsidians on the corner. Ouch. Yes, now it makes sense because I'm just covering the corners now. Okay, time to change the logic. If it's min x and if it's either one of the x's and actually, or if it's one of the extremes on the z, like so. Basically, we are doing it this way. So it's either one of these or it's either one of these. So we don't need the parentheses. These are all the same on the priority. So if we are one of the extremes and we are in the fluid blacklist, let's hot swap and try it. So run the command now, and there we go. Now we have the obsidian, and now I will remove the commented out lines, hot swap, and I will run the command on the exact same spot, and we keep the obsidian. That's perfect. Now, if you note, we have these little problems. So this seagrass belongs to the fluid wall, and I will add it. C underline grass. Actually, I'm not sure if it has underline or not. So go into blocks and search for seagrass. And I said, I was not sure if it had underline or not. So that's one of them. And every now and then I may find something that is properly tall seagrass. Great. However, this solves the borders. If you look, every now and then I have water in the middle. So I have these problems as water sources running all the way from top to bottom. So I will look through fluid blocks one more time and replace them with air. Maybe that solves it, but honestly, when the commands didn't solve the whole thing in one go, chances are that it won't be solved like this, but I'm trying my best here. So we give it a time. As you see, it gets the game in a frozen state. And as I said, it's not solving all the problems, as you see. Seagrass, I did tell to place this guy, didn't I? Maybe that's not working because of hot swap. Okay, well, as you saw, this second iteration of looping and removing the water didn't work as intended, and the water is still there. That's something that I didn't find a real fix for it, and the only way to handle it is to run the command twice. So let's run the command one last time, dclr space all, and it should clean everything. You notice that there is this hiccup in the game, especially now that it's raining. It shows up right now. You see that it's frozen. We can't do anything about it because it's about emptying the whole thing, okay? And it's showing the final result. If I want to, I can do fluids once, and you see that now the water is gone. And the whole point was that I wanted to see the ore distribution around the perimeters, and as you see, it's working properly. So the last order of business was to add the air into the fluid block list, and now this whole command situation should work properly as intended, as the way it should have been written long time ago. But as I said, at that time we didn't know the block state and how we can use the block state to put some new block instead of another block or retrieve a block from a position in the word. This is a prime example of retrieving a block using the word.getBlockState, as you can see, and again, word.setBlockState that we use to change the block from one block to another block. And honestly, this can be really cheaty, so be careful. You can use this to replace water with, I don't know, diamond block. Be careful about this.
If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.